If you feel like your creativity is slipping, if you feel like you're becoming someone you don't recognize, if you feel like you're doing everything right, but still ending up with a future that doesn't feel like yours, I want you to sit with me for this, because this is the story of the moment I almost accepted a future I didn't actually want. It's the story of the 2 seconds that changed my entire life. And if you're honest, you're probably standing closer to this same decision than you want to admit. So let's rewind. My whole life, I did everything you're supposed to do. I was class president, I got straight A's, captain of almost every team, gold medals, leadership awards. The student teachers bragged about the kid that other parents referenced to their own kids. Then I became the first person at my school to earn a full ride scholarship to play Division I soccer in America. And I was captain there too. I double majored, had a 4.0 GPA, and I was top of my class. So trust me when I say this, I was perfectly groomed for the smart path, the safe path, the predictable path, because I believed one thing: if you do everything right, life works out. But here's the part no one tells you, and it's that you can do everything right and still end up in a life that's wrong for you. I fast-tracked my degree and I graduated in 3 years, and by 21, everything was lined up for me. A high-paying job, stability, benefits, a clear ladder to climb, a predictable path to a high 7-figure salary if I just kept my head down long enough. It was exactly what I was supposed to want, but the closer I got to it, the heavier it felt. It was like I could see my next 20 years with clarity, and none of it excited me. Predictability used to feel like a safety net, and now it felt like a trap, like a life that someone else chose for me before I was old enough to choose for myself. And I want to be super clear, I wasn't running away from path A. I wasn't ungrateful. I didn't think that I was above it. I just realized something important. I didn't want the life that I was on track to get. I missed being creative. I missed making things. I missed being curious. I missed the version of me that used to dream without asking for permission. Somewhere between the grades and the achievements, that girl got quiet. And I missed her more than I wanted the salary, more than I wanted the stability, more than I wanted the perfect next step. And I just missed feeling alive. And then came path B, not in a dramatic way, but it showed up as a phone call. Someone asked me, hey, there's someone looking for help with their social media and personal branding. Do you know anyone? A simple question, but behind it were 2 lives. Path A was recommend someone else, stay small, stay predictable. And path B was choose myself, even though I had no proof I could do it. I knew a thing or two, but I didn't have a business. I didn't have any service in place to offer, nothing. So I paused 2 seconds. And in those 2 seconds, I had to decide, was I going to be the perfect candidate that everyone expected, or was I finally going to bet on myself? Fear told me I wasn't ready. Logic told me to take the safe job. Everyone in my life would have understood if I chose stability. But the part of me that wanted a different life spoke louder, and I said, I know someone, me. And those 2 seconds rerouted my entire life. Because the biggest truth I've learned is this: you don't build a new life by waiting to feel ready. You build it by saying yes and figuring it out as you go. Say yes first, figure it out later. And path B didn't reward me. It actually broke me. It built me a company with friends only to realize that business and friends don't always make the greatest outcomes. Sometimes you lose the business, sometimes you lose the friendship, sometimes you lose both, and you just have to keep going anyway. And it burned me out, not the cute kind of burnout where you need a spa weekend, but the type that literally shuts your body down before your mind can finally admit that you're overwhelmed. I lost so much weight, I couldn't even recognize myself. People thought I was fit, but I wasn't. It forced me to learn delegation because doing everything myself almost took me out of the game. You think you're saving money by doing it all, but you're actually paying the highest cost: your health, your energy, your clarity. It made me radically accountable because as a founder, every mistake has your name on it. You're the one who underpriced the offer, overpromised to the client, hired too fast, kept the wrong people too long, worked for free to build your portfolio, and said yes when you should have said no. Entrepreneurship is a mirror, and it showed me every single blind spot I had in HD. It taught me responsibility, like realizing that your company's revenue is paying for your team's rent, their groceries, their kids' meals. And that pressure hits different when you're 21 and learning everything on the fly. It taught me how to structure offers properly after years of lowballing myself because I didn't want to scare people away. And spoiler, cheap work always attracts the most demanding clients. It taught me boundaries, that not every opportunity deserves your energy, and not every client should have access to you. It pushed me into rooms that I didn't feel qualified for, pitching ideas that I wasn't sure would work. But that's the secret. No entrepreneur ever feels qualified. You grow into the room by being in the room. It was chaotic, it was lonely, it was unstable, it was expensive, and it was overwhelming. But it built a version of me that I would have never met on Path A. And once I stayed in the room long enough, the ups came. Path B let me move to Los Angeles at 23 and build a real life there, with friends who inspire me, push me, and make me better. I turned travel into a lifestyle. Miami, New York, Paris, London, Italy. These weren't vacation days, it was just life. Hey! Guys, we have an OG over here.
I was like, Lisa's pretty girl.
What's the boldest thing about you?
I think that I take a lot of action and I don't have fear associated with it.
I love that.
I'm just so used to it since I turned 21 and I moved to LA from Canada, and I had nothing, literally nothing, and I built my business from nothing. And I just feel like nothing scares me. And it's kind of funny how like I'll be like, I'm gonna start a new business tomorrow, and I'll just go all in and just believe in myself like no other, even if I sound delulu. The delulu people are the ones who become very successful.
The delulu people make their dreams become tralulu.
Yeah, you sometimes have to be delulu to make reality happen, and no one's gonna believe in you more than you.
I love that.
So true.
We all find each other, you know? The Canadians will always flock back to each other. Life works in such mysterious ways, but that was like the perfect insert right there. And as I was saying, it gave me nights where I brainstormed till 2 a.m. and I would do some of the most spontaneous things. Moments that would have never existed if I built a life on routine. It gave me Eventi, which was the agency I started at 21 and grew it to a multi-six-figure business by 23. It was completely bootstrapped and it was built on grit, storytelling, and lots of creativity. It gave me viral campaigns, millions of views for clients, rooms I never imagined I'd be in, projects with people that I grew up watching. And because of everything I've learned, I'm now building 2 more companies and it feels easier because the girl who built her first business in chaos now knows exactly what she's doing. Path B didn't just give me my freedom, it gave me myself. So if you're in a stable job and you feel like your creativity is slipping, listen to me. Money without quality of life is the most expensive way to waste your potential. You can always rebuild money. You can always pivot careers. You can always reinvent yourself. What you can't do is pretend that the version of you who wants more doesn't exist. And you know what's the wildest thing that Path B taught me? Money is everywhere. Creative people know how to find it. I didn't choose Path B because I was fearless. I chose it because the alternative was quietly killing the parts of me that I couldn't afford to lose. Path A gives you stability. Path B gives you yourself. And if something in your chest is whispering, there's more for you than this, don't ignore it. Your entire life can change in a 2-second decision. This is day 44 out of 100 bold. I appreciate you. Crush it today. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. And remember, to act bold, you need to be kid brave again.